Hello and welcome to the 23rd edition of the Bookbreakrs podcast. My name is Alan. With me are the two lads, the Fountains of Reason, Paul and Enda. How are you lads?
Good.
How do?
Reunited this week. So Enda, all your fans will be delighted.
We back.
This week we're going to talk about the best player in the world. So the FIFA Ballon d'Or winner is going to be announced soon. And the guys are going to give you their views on, who's really at it at the minute and who's been performing at the top of their game for the last while. Before we do that, I will jump in and talk to you about the app. So the Bookbreakrs app is a football predictions platform. So we offer free-to-play football prediction competitions. There's private leagues on there as well. So it's a good way to enhance your enjoyment of football, basically. So if you play fantasy football, Fantasy Premier League, it's a little bit like that in that it's a fantasy betting format. So you basically make predictions on football games, but instead of spending your hard-earned, you're just using points. And if your predictions win, you earn a profit and you compete with other players in a league table format, and the winners win cash prizes. So as I said, free to play, cash prizes on offer, private leagues with your friends to add a bit of extra interest, and you can add a side pot to those as well. So the private leagues can be paid. So you can pay £10 a man, for example, and then you decide what the prize money is, or it can be for free and just keep it fun. So let's just take a quick look at some of the competitions on here. So the main competition is called the NAP competition. So a NAP is basically a strong fancy or a strong prediction that you have. You're really confident about it. You get 5 of those a week plus one banker. Your banker is your absolute number one pick of the week. You're super confident about it. And those 6 picks, almost forgot one finger. Those 6 picks, that's it. So we were chatting earlier with the guys in terms of, how to explain it. And if you are playing Fantasy Premier League, that takes a lot of time to pick your team, pick your formation, plan out the games, substitutes, captain, all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of time and effort to compete there. On Bookbreakrs, it's just 6 predictions each week for the main NAP competition. So we've got a weekly competition as well. So every week there's 50 quid in the pot. There's a monthly competition with 200 quid in the pot. Again, each week, 6 predictions. Each month there's 4 weeks. So you have about 20 predictions, 24 predictions to make. And then we have a season-long competition, which is all your predictions, bankers, naps, and standard picks. And finally, there's a banker competition. So this is just your one banker each week, one pick. If you only want to play this competition, one prediction every week, 500 quid in the pot. See how you get on. You can see some of the guys here really doing well. Win rates of 85, 88, 91. So some really, really strong performance there. If you want to follow these guys, then you can just click into the profile, click follow, and every time they make a NAP or a banker prediction, you'll get a notification. Cool. So finally then, I talked about private leagues. Create your own leagues. Get 10 of your friends together. Every man put £10 in the pot, 100 quid up for grabs, and just have a bit of fun to see who can win that. You can also raise money for charity through private leagues. So if you say a charity gets 50% of the pot, then if it's a £10 entry, that's £5 towards the charity, £5 towards the prize money. Recruit as many people as you can, and you get a big pot and you raise money for a good cause. So lots of different ways to enjoy the app. So check it out. It's available on the App Store and as a direct download for Android. So the link for that is on all our social channels. Right, guys, back in the room. So the best player in the world right now, Ballon d'Or is coming up. That player may or may not win that, in your views. But Enda, let's start with you. Give us your top three. Count them down for us, or give us your view.
Top three. Yeah, I went. Yeah, Grant. So Ballon d'Or. I went number 3, Haaland. Okay. Like go through who's on the list anyway, right? So you've kind of got you've got a hangover from the Euros for a lot of them. Like Bruno Fernandes is on it. Holy God, like Kante has been on it, but he's out of form. Harry Kane's on it. Like, hello. Diaz is on it. Form fell off a cliff once United stopped, or once City stopped winning everything and anything. De Bruyne, another lad. You know, like outsiders for me who could have done well if their teams were the two centre backs, Bonucci and Chiellini, but Juventus have fallen off a cliff, so they won't win it. So I boiled it down to number 3, Haaland. Like some might say, compare him to Benzema. Benzema is this, Benzema is that. They've actually quite different, quite similar stats insofar as Benzema scored 30 goals in all competitions last year. Haaland scored 41. We're talking last season, kind of half that season hangs over to this season, which is why we're talking about it. This season, then he's 9 goals, 13 in all competitions, and the other lad is 10 with 14. Now, why you pick Haaland over Benzema? Because he's playing well in an ordinary team, and he lights up that ordinary team. He lights up that league. He lights up the Champions League. That's for me. Yeah. I have him at 3 for that reason.
He's the thing I notice about Haaland, and like sometimes you can get carried away with the hype, like every 21. Every time someone bursts onto the scene that they're going to be the next greatest thing. But he's starting to do things like ratchet up hat-tricks and like really take games by the scruff of the neck and like win them almost on his own. Physically, he's a beast. Like he really if he stays fit, he really does look like
he's pace as well.
Yeah, he's everything really. Yeah. Okay, 3.
Nope.
On to 2 then.
On to 2, Lewandowski. I mean, like elder statesman on this list, but his record, like this calendar year, right, 37 goals. 2021, he would have been absolutely assured of the Ballon d'Or. This is why I think he might just get it ahead of my number 1 pick.
Yeah.
All right.
In this, can I just jump in there? I was looking at a few stats myself, and this season, Lewandowski has something like 25 goal contributions. That's goals and assists already.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah. But he's playing for the best team in the league. They're miles ahead of everyone.
And it's a tin pot league, really.
Yeah. It's a poor league, right? But you can't argue with his achievements either. He's been doing it since 2010. 2010, Jurgen Klopp bought him and brought him into the Bundesliga. 2010-11, he won the Bundesliga with Dortmund. 2011-12 as well. He was the Golden Shoe winner 2021. I mean, only for the Ballon d'Or was called off, he was a standout. Like he would have got it. Like which is why I would have thought he'll get it this time as well.
Yeah, and I think what goes against him, like yes, he's in the Bundesliga, but he's at Bayern, so like he does get plenty press coverage, but he's not the type of guy who does exceptional things that get headlines. He's just he's a finisher.
Very
like
good goal. So yeah. They're 6 yards out. Give him one chance, he'll score.
Yeah.
We'd all die for a player like that. United die for a player like that. So would Liverpool, I suppose. Like 41 goals he got. 41 goals he got, right? He beat Gerd Muller, best bomber, best German player ever, arguably one of the best European players ever. A record set in 1971-72 of 40 goals.
Yeah.
So that was an achievement in itself. So he's my number 2. Number 1, Mo Salah. Like it's not. You look at Lewandowski, 6 yards out, bang. 2 yards out, bang. look Mo Salah. He's sitting lads down, like, and you look at it's exciting to watch him play. That's why I have Haaland in this, like Haaland versus Benzema. Like Benzema is a good player in arguably a better team than Dortmund than Haaland is for Dortmund. But Haaland excites you. You want to watch Haaland. He's improving all the time. Salah's the same. I mean, he's running rings around lads, and he's not running. Okay, you look at the goal versus Oxford. He sat 3 lads down who were Watford. He done it to Gundogan, Diaz, Kyle Walker, and John Stones. All 4 of them against City, like. And Diaz is on the Ballon d'Or list, like.
I suppose it raises the question of like what are the criteria for best player in the world, because if you're going to include things like he's exciting to watch, which I agree should be a factor, then that's where the likes of Lewandowski maybe just fall down.
But yeah, that's where I suppose Messi and Ronaldo have got their Ballon d'Ors in the past. Like, arguably have they been the best players? Well, for a lot of them maybe, but for 1 or 2, and maybe the most recent one for someone. But yeah, I mean, and like his records, like he's since he came into the Premier League, he's doing it. Last year, Liverpool were dog shit. Sorry, apologies, dog feces. They were rubbish, and he kept them in the league. He got them into it. Him and Alisson scoring against Burnley. But yeah, I would like African Footballer of the Year 2018. He has, what is he? 10 goals. He's the top scorer in the EPL. He's 10 goals and 4 assists. Like he assists. He would assist more than Lewandowski. Like 107 goals in the Premiership, 40 assists. Yeah. But now I have him top of my list. That's who I would give it to.
Yeah.
Before a certain snippet of information we got prior to airtime, I would have said they'll give it to Lewandowski. A, because of his record, and B, because he should have got it last year.
Yeah.
But Paul can talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think
my top 3 anyway.
I think one thing to say about Salah, so like, you know, I love watching him. He's a bit Messi-esque at the minute, because, you know, I remember Messi in his pomp, he would run at players and he would just put the fear of God into them, and they'd be afraid to touch him because he's going so quick and it's so many different angles that any kind of touch is probably going to put him down, and if you don't put him down, then there's a good chance he'll score. So
he's strong on the ball as well, like, you know, he doesn't just fall over, like he can be strong on the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, I'd say, you know, he can be known to go down a bit easy, but I think they all do. I think that's just part of the game these days.
And does that get highlighted more because he's foreign? Definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
probably does, but he's definitely done. And I think one of the smart things Salah has done is actually staying at Liverpool. Like, I think it was on the cards for him to leave and do the whole Spain thing if he wanted to, and all of that. But I think he realized what was going on at Liverpool, and that there was a special group there and a special manager, and he's stayed on.
I was just going to say, you have to credit Klopp as well.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So we'll jump over then. Paul, do you want to give us your top 3?
Yeah. Well, as Enda alluded to, there has been a rumor circulating online today that it already has been awarded, the Ballon d'Or. But I mean, I've heard that it's been awarded to Lionel Messi, which is I find very strange, because I was thinking to myself during the week that this is probably, I thought we'd passed the era of the Messi-Ronaldo domination. I don't think either of them has been, you know, at their absolute best, like they were probably in their late to mid 20s, you know, where they're dominating, scoring 50 goals a season. I would have personally said that Lewandowski should have won it, in recognition for, I mean, listen, the information I have may not actually be fact, and he may yet win it, but I think, as Enda mentioned earlier on, his consistency over the years has been like second to none from an out and out number 9's perspective. I don't think Ronaldo or Messi, either of them really qualified as a number 9 for the bulk of the bulk of their career. I know Ronaldo has kind of moved into that position later on in his career, but yeah. So I mean, the fact that he plays in a league that I wouldn't suggest is most competitive in the world. I don't think I'd hold that against him, because his statistics are so good year on, year out.
So on that, shall I introduce some data?
Go for it.
All right now. So I was actually a bit shocked by this myself, but if you can see that, guys. So these are goal involvements for kind of the big six, shall we say. And if you look, so you've Messi here in blue, and this is Lewandowski in green. Then you have Ronaldo in orange, Benzema in purple, KDB here in blue, and Lewandowski, as I said, in green. So, or Salah, sorry, in red as well. So, yes, the league, in terms of teams that can really put it up to Bayern, like if you look at the Premier League, right? Chelsea, City, United, Liverpool, West Ham now, Spurs kind of came in for a while. The depth goes down, a good bit. It just doesn't in like Leipzig and Dortmund maybe, but nevertheless, like look at these for goal involvements. Like the year Liverpool won the league, Salah had that was 19. Was that 19 and 20?
Yeah, because it was pandemic.
Yeah.
Time, wasn't it?
Yeah. So 36 goal involvements for Salah. Lewandowski at 65,
Yeah,
these are crazy numbers. 53, 65, 57.
I would say as well, like in favor of Lewandowski, and not in favor of him over anyone else, but these goal involvements and goals in general, they're not just specific to the Bundesliga. I mean, he's done it in the Champions League as well. He is one of the elite players in the world, and
before,
funny, really,
sorry, Paul, before he moved to Bayern, he won 2 Bundesliga titles with Dortmund and
he's not a Johnny come lately or flash in the pan. He's been consistent. I think he's been pretty consistent for Poland as well. Obviously he's a bit of I suppose like maybe a Ryan Giggs type player in that he's just an absolute star in a team full of the decidedly average players. Will never win anything with his country, but has represented him as best he could. Obviously, he's not surrounded by the players that he plays with at quality of player that he plays with at Bayern when he plays at Poland. But for me, I think as Enda alluded to, he probably would have won it last year, but it got cancelled. And I think of all the players in the world at the minute who you'd want to have in your team, I don't think anyone would turn down Lewandowski. That being said, I do think probably on current form, and so this goes back to how the Ballon d'Or is voted on, who actually decides when it's decided, not the PFA Player of the Year. So it gets voted on quite early in the season or the year, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but the Ballon d'Or used to be voted for by international managers. And I'm not 100% sure if that is still the case, but it was literally only the managers of international teams who had a vote on it, and they voted 1, 2, 3. I think maybe now there might be some player voting involved in it as well. I'm not 100%, but
there's definitely player voting involved in it now.
Yeah,
they all go on about, I voted for such a lad on my Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, that's I read a bit of that recently, but I think I'm right in saying that it used to be just the international managers. But I mean, on current form, and and I'd probably say current being the opening, say 3 months of the season. Yeah, I'd have to agree that Mo Salah has been pretty sensational so far. And we spoke in previous pods about I had my doubts about whether him and Mane would stay. You alluded to it there, Alan, about he probably, or both of them, might have had the opportunity to go to Spain under normal circumstances. I don't think the finances in Spanish football would have really allowed that to happen. in much the same way that, players like Pogba, who'd been linked with Madrid, the money wasn't floating around, but definitely going to Barcelona would have been a downward career move based on what we've seen in the last 6 to 9 months. Madrid, not the force they were. So I think he has done well in staying at Liverpool, and I think it's a team that, based on what we've seen so far, is going to go close to winning the big trophies this season.
Yeah. So is Lewandowski is your number 3?
No, Lewandowski would be my number 1. I could
Number one,
reality, if you're not finishing first, the rest is fairly irrelevant. So my top 3, or my second and third, would have been Salah, and I have to say it's a personal opinion. It's just a player that, you talked earlier about how exciting Haaland is. I just love watching Kylian Mbappe. For me, he's the next superstar. He's the next Messi, Ronaldo. If he keeps fit, and because he's a player who runs at pace, he's going to pick up hamstring injuries and things like that along the way, no doubt about it. But I think if he stays fit, I think he's going to be sensational. He's only 21, maybe 22 now as well. So it's definitely between him and Haaland for future awards.
If he stays fit and leaves PSG, arguably, like I would have given him an honourable mention. The only reason I wouldn't have put him in, I suppose you could have, Haaland doesn't exactly play in a great league, but he's playing well in a arguably bad team. Like Mbappe's playing all right in a team of superstars. So that's why I didn't have him. I agree with you. I love the way he plays, and I do agree with you. I think he's the next big superstar. I think he needs to get out of PSG.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't disagree with you there. And I think maybe that might have been what's hindered Neymar's career, really, going to PSG. If you're not playing in a competitive league, it doesn't improve your game, does it?
Yeah, but ultimately greed hindered his career then, because he was in a team with Messi and Suarez, and he decided, I want to be the big dog somewhere, and that place just happened to have.
If I go and I'm it was a greed thing and an ego thing, wasn't it? Like, if I go and I be the top dog in PSG, I'll win the Ballon d'Or.
And I don't believe he's ever come close to it. I don't think he's ever he was as close to it in Barcelona, as close as he'll ever be.
But it goes back to that thing we talked about with Salah and Mane and Firmino. They kind of stuck together and they've reaped the rewards to a large extent. Neymar decided, no, I'm going to go. So that's.
But you're right. It was money. It had to be. It was money. It was money and ego. Yeah. I mean, it was an insane amount of money. I don't know if that'll ever be, with the way finances are going in football. Will that ever be exceeded?
It's mad.
Again?
It's mad to think they sold him for that amount and are still broke.
Yeah, that's it. But they've sold plenty of players, but they spent ridiculous money on players as well. What was the Coutinho fee? Was it 146 million? Something ridiculous.
And they're still paying for it.
Yeah. So I mean, was Coutinho really the replacement for Neymar? I don't know. I don't know. If we could get into the money thing in football at another stage.
Politics of football kind of mixing in anyway.
Yeah.
But I think about that. I think Haaland would get a mention as well. I mean, he's very early in his career. He's not really done it in a big league yet. I know you could say the same for Mbappe, but Mbappe has done it on the world stage, as World Cup winner.
Yeah. But I mean, to Endo's points, he is carrying that Dortmund team, and he does do it for Norway as well, and that's another poor team, So be very interesting to see him in a team like a Chelsea or a City where the team was built around him. I'd say it could be like when Bayern signed Lewandowski and he went on to just score all these goals. It's going to be that again, isn't it? Like, whoever signs him, you're probably going to get 10 years of just insane goal records. I think you're on mute on the.
It's either that or he's miming.
I love my miming. I'm just going to say it's going to happen. He's going to Bayern Munich, like, because that's what they do. They hoover up all the talent in
I hope not.
the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and
It's
actually,
big money though. It's big money, and the German teams don't have big money, or
Yeah.
or certainly if they have it, they don't spend it. So, I mean, if there is some sort of isn't there a buyout clause or release clause or something? Is that 63 million release clause? Does that get activated
Well, here-
this
I
summer? Or
think that went
like
last year.
Here, how about the old swapperoo?
Yeah, well, he could go back there. Yeah, I don't
Lewandowski.
know. I don't know.
Oh,
Matt
I
Hummels
just
did.
he's going to end up in England. I'm sure he'll end up in England because
That's where the money is. That's where the money is.
It is
isn't
where the money is. Yeah,
Yeah,
And you're probably talking City as well, City or
Yeah.
Chelsea,
Lewandowski.
Unfortunately.
because that's where the money is.
But there is in all honesty, I think there's a lack of real world class players at the moment in comparison to previous years.
You make a
think it's a
great
smaller-
point. You make a great point.
smaller
I'm looking
pot.
at the list here. Jorginho. What does Jorginho do? Kick
Yeah,
penalties.
one European player of the year. I mean, I don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he
Mason
was on the short list.
Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, Ronaldo has been the worst he's been in years. Messi's been the worst he's been in years, and he's going to win it. Like, what do you do?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I
Right,
don't know.
guys, we'll probably wrap it up there. The only one I wanted to throw in to that list, and he would have been on my top three, and like going back to your point, and around a player I just love to watch. Like, I'd have De Bruyne in there. I know the last while he hasn't started this season particularly well, but in terms of goal contributions, he's nowhere near sort of a Lewandowski, but he's in the mix. And for a midfielder who has started to play a bit deeper, I think that's like that
He was
says
left
enough.
back and centre back on occasions on Saturday. Like,
And-
I don't know.
And that's
Can I
and
just
that
say
goal
as well, like, this is a good point for De Bruyne. Phil Foden's on the list, and so is Raheem Sterling. He's been making those players for the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I was just going to say that, like, so the goal contributions include assists where someone scores a goal. Now the way to critique that would be that, well, what if you lay 20 goals on a plate for someone and they miss them, right? Like, you've still done your bit, but someone has just failed to score, so your stats don't look great. However, the other part of it is he often assists the assister. So he'll find that ping, that sweet pass out to Sterling or Mahrez, and then they just roll it in to someone for a tap in. I really think it's hard to quantify his influence in terms of raw numbers. So I would definitely have De Bruyne in there. He'd be in my top two anyway. Top three, along with Lewandowski and Salah, probably.
The point has to be made as well. Whereas Salah's form has picked up, Lewandowski's form has been the same excellent quality. His form's gone off the cliff.
Yeah, I mean, are we maybe seeing the impact of injuries and stuff? Maybe, like, he's had bad injuries.
He's had quite a few injuries. Yeah, he has. Some players are really susceptible. Yeah, the European Cup final as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think actually the Euro 2020s, he is the type of player who probably needs that summer break to replenish and and he didn't get it this season. He went to the Euros, they got to the semis, didn't they? And he probably has latter half of this season.
Well, didn't he?
Yeah. Latter half of this season, I'd expect him to explode. So, all right, lads. Good chat.
Maybe they'll have a COVID case again and then get 2 weeks off.
Actually, we're all hardy now. We've all had it at this stage. Like,
double jab, lads. We're double jabbed. Yeah, we're impenetrable now.
Yeah, cool. All right, lads. Good chat.
Get vaccinated.
Some good insights there. Let's see who will be announced as the Ballon d'Or winner. As you guys said, there's a rumor going around. It might be Messi, which I think we'd all be surprised by. But let's see what happens.
Yeah,
it's the word I do.
Yeah, cool. All right. guys, thanks for your time, and we'll catch you again next week.
See you later.
See you, boys.
Bye.